so that some people who are coming late can still watch it. Okay. Can you do all the thumb up again? I want to take a picture of it. Go ahead and do it. Give me a thumb up. All right. This is so cool. All right. Good to see you all. Now I'm going to just mute your mic so it won't be so noisy. Okay. Now, if you have to, you want to say something, you just wave, and I'll turn your mic on, and so other people can hear you too. And right now, I have just mute your mic, and so that we can avoid some of that background noise. Welcome. Before we start, let's go ahead and have someone say a prayer for us. And of course, I'll unmute your mic so you can say the prayer and anyone who would like to say a prayer, you can raise your hand and I can see that. Invite you to pray. Anyone here?
Say it.
Okay, Jacqueline, thank you. And now I will. Okay, looks like your mic is already unmuted. And so I'll turn the time to you. We'll say a prayer over the internet.
Okay. Okay. Our dear Heavenly Father, we're grateful for this day. We're grateful that we could come to class today through the use of technology. We ask you to please bless Dr. Chan, that he can teach our class and we can learn the things we need to learn to be best teachers the way that we can. And we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Now, before we start the presentation today, I want to tell you why we are doing this. Now, since this is a technology class, is technology in the classroom, and so I thought I would like to have make use of the technology as much as we can, and give you an opportunity to experience doing a webinar too. I am launching a poll here. And I want to see how many of you have done a online seminar, usually record a webinar. And so go ahead and answer this poll now. So I can see that the answers are coming in. There are altogether 31 people here. And it looks like most people have not done a webinar before. So it is good. I want you to try this. Now there are many technologies out there that we can use for webinars. And in the past, I usually use GoToMeeting. I have a license. My wife has a license with it, and but there are many different tools. The reason I'm using this tool that is called Zoom, Zoom.us. Is because BYU has a license for it. And I think the license is extended to students too. And so if you want to use it for your class or I guess for personal use too, you can try it. And after you graduate, Zoom can continue to give you a free license with some limitations on it. But it is a tool that you can use. And so they all have some similar features. Like one is that you can all see each other. In a little bit, I'm going to share my screen with you. Before I do that, I also want to point to you that there's a chat room on the right hand side, and if you don't see it, you may need to just click on the chat button, and you should be able to see a chat room on the right hand side. And this chat room allows you to type something, and everybody can see your text. But if you want to text to only one particular person in the chat room, you can do that too. You just select where it says to, and select the name of the person that you want to text to, and so it makes it very convenient to collaborate. And so now I'm going to share my screen with you. Share screen right here, and then start one. Okay. Share screen. Okay. Can you see my screen now? I guess let me see. it should allow me to still see you on the side, but right now I am not. Okay. Now, why don't you all do that? Just go to the chat room and type in yes if you can see my screen now, which is just the background. Okay, good. Looks like we can all see that. And I will go to my PowerPoint. Okay, so you can now see my PowerPoints too, right? Okay, very good. Now, before I turn to my presentation, let me show you one more thing. Since this is the first time we are using a Zoom, this online webinar features, I want to show you some of the typical features, and so you know what to expect. And so it has this mute feature. No, I can mute my mic. I can also mute your mic, and I can stop the video so you cannot see me. And I can have some controls of the particular participants, for your mic, and if I want to send you something. And just now you have experienced a poll, so it has some polling features that I can use. And if I don't want to share my screen, I can pause it or stop it. And I have also this annotate feature. This annotate feature is pretty cool. It seems like some of you are already drawing on my screen. But this annotate feature allows me to draw on the screen. And so if you are like showing somebody how to do something on a computer, you can show them on the internet, using Zoom, and then use the annotate feature, and then point to draw on a certain part of the screen and say, hey, look at this, look at that, or draw on it. Yeah, see, some of you are drawing. I love this. It's so cool. Okay. And you can. This feature is really cool. You can also let someone else to remotely control your computer too. You see right here, it says remote control. And so if I don't know how to do something, and I want someone to control my computer and show me how to do it, you can do that. And so very cool. Okay. And if you click on more, then there are some additional features. So for example, the breakout rooms means that you can have the students breaking out into small groups, and they can have a little online discussion like that. And closed caption, since there's a special educators, you can also turn on a special closed caption feature if you are doing a more formal presentation, and you also have the script there. You can do the closed caption. And I'm recording this session, and you can pause the recording, stop the recording. So very good. Oh, look at my screen. It's becoming so colorful. That's pretty fun. Okay. And all right, I'm ready to start my presentation. Let me stop my pen. Okay, good. Now my presentation is a little too colorful. Okay, let me see how I can stop you guys from drawing on my screen. Let's see, how do I do that? Okay, like what I mentioned earlier, in the past I have used the GoToMeeting more, and so this is this particular tool is new to me too. Okay, clear all drawing. Okay, I've cleared all the drawing now, and I will start my presentation again. And of course, I need to. Yes. Okay. Okay. Great. Now, today I want to talk to you about problem solving, and this is actually a model that I developed, and so it is proprietary. It is something that you don't hear a lot, from in other settings. But I like to share something that is important to me, and I hope it will be useful to you too. And my goal is to actually write this up. I'm in the process of writing it into a book, but with everything else that is happening, sometimes I get distracted and don't have the time to get back to it. And so hopefully in the next few months, I'll be able to find some time to continue writing about it. And now, this is something that I've presented in other different settings. And I like to call today's presentation in a TEDx Plus setting, because what I like about TED is that it talk about a lot of different topics, but one thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't have a discussion session. And so today I hope that we'll be able to have at least some discussions, and you can participate and you can raise questions and share your thoughts on it. And so the first part is that I got to ask you about your problem first. Okay, so what are your problems? Do you have any problem that you need to solve right now in your life, in school, or your life? Can you go to the chat room and type over there, what are some of your problems that you're facing right now? Can you all do that? Okay. Finance, okay. Well, you must be the only person in the world who has a financial problem. Everybody has a lot of money to spend. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, finance, scheduling, finding a parking spot at BYU, yeah, that's a challenge. Dating, oh yeah, sure, yeah, that's an issue. It looks like a number of you have scheduling problems. Yeah, school, adulting. Okay, being an adult, yeah, that I guess that's what it means. Okay, relationships, me too, parking. Yeah, okay. Well, so these are some of the common problems that we face in our daily lives, and some of these problems may not have easy answers, and some people, some solutions, some problems may have some answers. I like this one. My engaged ring is taking 80,000 a week to get ready, huh? That's a long time to wait. Okay, so thank you for your comments. Now, so what is the problem? Okay, a problem, of course, is something that needs to be dealt with or improved. And so every day we face all kinds of problems. Sometimes going to work, traffic is a problem. It seems like relationship, having a broken heart, that's a problem. And there are sometimes family issues, or in school we also have academic problems that we have to deal with. And today we are talking about a universal model that seems to be working in many different industries. Now, every profession has problems. The computer program, the computer company, they need to solve computing problems, but as a business, they also need to solve a business problem. It may be relating to sales, may be relating to operations. And for the fire departments, they also have technical issues. They also have human issues that they have to deal with. Counseling, psychology, you also have different issues. Even military or healthcare or business, everybody has problems to solve. And oftentimes that's why you're hired, because there are certain needs, certain problems that need to be resolved in that organization, and that's why you're hired to do that. And every profession has a problem-solving model too. Now, in Microsoft, they have this problem-solving model that looks kind of like this. They discover the problems and evaluate it, and then after that, they identify some solutions and track those possible solutions, execute a plan, check the results, and then find out whether it works or not. If it works, then take a proactive approach to continue to resolve the problems and adapt it. If it does not work, then it goes back to possible solutions and try resolve it again. Now, can you resolve every problem? Well, there are some things that you cannot control too, but if you use a model like this, you have a better chance of at least finding out the possible solutions and using one of them. Now, what about in the fire departments? This is from a national organization for firefighters, and they also identify a similar models, problem-solving model. And so first you identify the problem, and then you establish the goals and analyze the situations, set objectives, and develop an action plan, implement those plans, and then evaluate the outcomes. Now, can you see that even though this is a very different industry, it actually has some similarities in this model comparing to the Microsoft model? Because in this model, it also have identifying the problems and then setting the goals. The goals sometimes are very similar to plans. And then you analyze the situations, which is similar to identify the different solutions, and you set your objectives and develop the action plan. Action plans, you can also call it a possible solution situation, and then you implement the plan, and then of course you monitor the plan, or the solution, and after that, you evaluate and to see whether it in the Microsoft model it will be called whether it resolved the problem or not. And if it does not resolve the problem, then you go back to analyze it, analyzing it, identifying and prioritizing the problems again. So. And okay, in counseling psychology, since you guys in special ed, this is very similar to a situation that you may need to deal with in a school setting. This is an established problem-solving model in counseling psychology. So first, you identify the problems. Again, like the last one that we have seen. And then you explore the possible solutions, set goals, look at the different alternatives, meaning that you look at the different possible solutions, and you select one that you want to try. You try it, and then see whether it works or not. Evaluate. If it does not work, then you come back to this process again. Are you starting to see the pattern? Okay. Here's the next one. This is a business problem-solving model. Again, it has identifying the problems and measuring it, setting goals, and looking at the different possibilities. Looking at what causes that. This one is a little different, than the other two that we have looked at, the other three that we have looked at. But there are more similarities than differences. Okay. Evaluating the results, implements the changes, improve, celebrate. Yeah, if you can resolve the problem. If you cannot resolve the problem, then you go back to identifying the problems again. Okay, medical. Again, it has some similarities. The problem, identifying possible solutions, hypothesis, and then you evaluate. And then you look at the different causes, what causes the problems, and you reflect, or evaluate. And if it does not resolve the problem, you go back to the definition again. Okay, even military has this model is used by the army, and they call it the 7 step of problem solving. And you identify the problem first, get information, develop a course of action, or solution, and analyze to see whether it works or not. And then you analyze the different possible solutions, and then you make a decision and make a plan and implement the plan. Now, After looking at different models, what we have identified is that there are really some common areas in each one of the problem solvings, the models. And we call a combination of these different ideas a universal model in problem solving. And it always started with identifying the problem first. And here we call it analysis, analyze or analysis. And so you analyze to see what are your needs, what are the problems, what causes the problem, what's the nature of that problem that you are trying to resolve. And so, and sometimes you may even ask, is there really a problem? And if so, what's the nature of that problem? And, is that problem really needs to be resolved? What are the goals that we are trying to achieve? What are the cases, subject matter task, or, is it possible to resolve that problems? And who are we dealing with? Who are the customers? And to you guys, your customers, all generally are students because they are the reasons why you are needed in the classrooms. But who are also the stakeholders? Stakeholders meaning that these are people who have a stake in what you are doing. So that means districts, school, the administrators, other teachers, and parents. And so how are they, if you are in an inner city situation, that type of audience will be very different than, let's say, maybe Teamview High School, or there are inner city areas in Utah too, and so the different neighborhoods can be very different. And so we also look at the audience that we are dealing with. And content, in your case, you are dealing with the special ed content, subject knowledge that you have to deal with. And context is what about the actual environment that you are working in. How's the relationship between the different staff and the administration? Are they, for example, my son goes to the Centennial Middle School. Centennial Middle School has made some major changes in their administration and also the entire curriculum. And so if they're in a changing process like this, maybe you deal with the issues that you have to work on a little differently than in a school that has been running in a routine, very, very, very differently. And so the key things that we need to remember here is that we are trying to find out what we are trying to accomplish. Okay, find out what we are trying to accomplish. Keep on asking yourself, what are the main things that you are trying to accomplish here? Whom it is for, and how you measure your success. And so if early on you know exactly how you will be measured, then the chance of you taking the right course is much higher. Okay, and after we understand what we're dealing with, then we can design the solutions that we can use. And once we understand the solutions, what are some of the possible solutions, we always have at least 3 solutions: plan A, plan B, and plan C. Like right now in our school, just now in the beginning I mentioned that I have a school in China, and we have 160 students now. It is like a high-end, prestigious school, and almost all of them, with a few exceptions, are Chinese students, but they are using an American curriculum. And so in our situation over there, we have a strong ESL need. And so how do we cater to that needs? How can you bring 160 students, and next year we will probably double the enrollments too. And so bring these students in a lower, oftentimes not proficient English level to a English level that is very proficient, that's communicatable, where they can understand the instructions, which is all in English. and perform. And so we have plan A, plan B, and plan C. And we are implementing actually plan C now because plan A and plan B didn't work. And so plan A in this, and plan C in that case, it has become our plan A. And so we are trying to continue to adjust and come up with different solutions. And after you have developed those solutions, you have to implement it. And so, again, going back to the school, in the last few months, in preparation for the new school year, my wife, who is an expert in English as a second language, has think about the new staff that we need, the curriculum that we need to help the students. So we have brought a lot of books, and those are the books that we know are effective, that are going to help the students. But then, because of the visa problems, our 2 new teachers cannot be there, in time to start school. And so how do we resolve that? My wife ended up having to go to China to teach. Right now, she's still in China and teaching those English classes. And so we developed plan A, B, and C, and she's plan C. And so she went over there. We have implemented the solutions, and we get some additional help from local staff, and so it's working. And sorry, press the wrong button. Okay, and after that, we have to evaluate. And so in our school situation, I actually went in there and evaluate all the classes. I evaluate every single class, including my wife's class, to see how things are working and how students are responding in the classes. And they're actually responding very well. I see them like all our teachers are native English speakers, and so you want to see whether the students are responding to the teacher at the right time, laugh at the right time, and and whether they're asking questions and answering the teacher's questions and all that. And so we have to evaluate it. And if it, and then after that, you have to analyze again to see if the solution is working. And if it doesn't work, then we have to go back to this cycle again. And in our school situation, things are working, but we heard that the visas are even going to take much longer. The new teachers may not be there until February, like mid-February or the end of February. And so we will have about 2 or 3 weeks in February where we may not have a teacher. And so right now we're scratching our head and trying to find another solution. And so again, we will not just settle on just one solution, but come up with several. And so comparing the pros and cons of all these different solutions. When we look at situations like this in a very systematic way, then the possibility of us finding the best solution will be much higher. Now, will we be able to resolve all the problems? No, let's say, if there's a big flooding or earthquake, happen in a school, then we probably won't be worrying about ESL at that time. There are certain things that you cannot control, but within the things that you can control, using a model like this will help each one of you in resolving whatever problems that you may have. Now, so as you look at this model, can you think of a good acronym that we can use to maybe help each one of us to remember this model more easily? Can you think of any acronym? Can you type it in the chat room, and if you can think of any? CS analysis. Oh, hey, Elisa, right? Okay, Elisa suggested ADDIE. Okay, yeah, that's the ADDIE. Sounds like a good name. That's pretty easy to remember. Okay, this is called the universal model of problem solving. Yeah, and so ADDIE. So we name after some man over there. Okay. ADDIE model of problem solving. Okay, so now you can remember. Next time when you need to resolve a problem, you just look, remember this image. Okay, ADDIE. I need to remember ADDIE. Now, let me give you a little example. There are lots of examples and non-examples cases that I can share with you. But I try to, the model itself, we can take a whole course to just talk about that. But I'll just share with you one little story. This is a real story. It's shared with me by my friend who is the chief instructional designer in Veterans Affairs. So one time he said he was called by this general in the Air Force to come in to help the Air Force to make a video, make an instructional video. And he is ready to give him a large budget, hundreds of thousands of dollars to make this video. And the reason for making this video is that in the Air Force, they have certain acquisition procedure that everybody needs to follow. He said this new procedure, in the past they have a procedure that they have been following, but now they want to implement this new procedure. So this new procedure has a manual. It teaches people how they should do things, and if they need to buy something, they have to go through it in order to be properly funded. And what the general has found that is, even though this policy has been implemented for some time, but people are just not following it. And he has given presentation to teach people how to follow it, but people are still not following it. So his idea is to create an instructional video to teach people how to do it. Okay, so my friend David went into that situation, and as an instructional designer, and so he must be the right person to make this instructional video. But his first question to ask the general and his staff is that, okay, now before we make this video, can I, as an instructional designer, understand this situation a little bit more, understand the problem a little bit more, okay? Can you tell me why the people are not following this process? And then the response was like, oh, we already know that people are lazy. They don't want to. They're sticking with the old process. They're not using the new process, and so that's the reason. So go ahead and make the video. That's all I need. And my friend David, went back to that situation and says, no, before we try to resolve a problem, we really need to understand, what's the true nature of that problem, or if that's really a problem at all. And but then the response again is that there's no time for it, okay? And just go do what we need to do. And so to keep the long story short, David said, okay, well, we usually take at least several weeks or sometimes maybe over a month to analyze the problem. But if there's really no time, can we just take a few days or even one meeting? Okay, give me 4 hours. If we can have all the staff together and find out, what the real problem is, why people are not using this process, then it may be helpful. And so eventually they just say, okay, well, I'll give you 4 hours. Sit down, we'll have all the main staff sit down in that conference room, and let's find out, what the problem is and answer all your questions. And so in the beginning of that meeting, people were just hesitant to say anything. And then later, finally, they excused the general, and so it's just the staff over there. And so David asked the question, okay, why aren't you guys following this process, this acquisition process? And you know what people say? People were saying that, well, even though the new process makes sense, is nice, but it takes longer to do it. And our performance is not measured by whether we follow this process at all. Our performance is mainly measured by how many of these products we have acquired for the Air Force So in other words, if the Air Force needs to buy these things, they, as the purchasers, need to just go out and purchase these things as soon as possible. Probably in a lower price. And so at the end of the year, when we are talking about the promotion, talking about the performance evaluation, none of the supervisors really care about whether they follow the new procedure or not. What they really care about is that have they been able to make the acquisition very quickly and very accurately, and so that they won't be looked upon as being a very slow department. And so once David, as an instructional designer, understand the true problem of in that situation is not really instruction. The true problem over there is that you have a system of awarding people by something other than following your procedure. Then the people won't really care about your procedure at all. And so as you can see, that in the ADDIE model, the first part of understanding the situation is identifying the problem, analyzing it, understanding the true nature of it. So just now, when we talk about your problems, some of you talk about scheduling. Some of you talk about parking, and some other things. Well, and when you are before you try to resolve a problem like this, have you also tried, ever asked yourself, what is the true nature of the problem that you're trying to deal with? Scheduling, for example, why is it a problem? Why is scheduling, an issue? Is it because you have too many things on your plate, and or is it because you have not had a chance to really systematically write down all the things that you need to do, and that's why it causes a scheduling problem? What about parking? Why parking is a problem? Is it because you oftentimes, like me, only come to class a few minutes before, and so you end up having a very limited time to solve your problems? The context in a parking situation at BYU, of course, we know is that there's very limited parking. And so asking yourself questions that help you clarify the problems that you're facing with will help you in the next step, which is to design the problems that you have, design the solutions that you may have. Again, we want to look at your problems. Just now you have already shared some of the problems with me, and now as we look at the ADDIE model, how do you think you can use it to solve your problems? Now here in the chat room, can you just quickly share a few thoughts with me? How do you think if you need to analyze and design the different solutions for the problems that you're facing with, how do you think you would do it? How can ADDIE help you? Well, prayer, surely will help, Jane. Prayer is great, yeah. But besides praying, anything else we can do? After we pray, we always, after we kneel down, praying on our knees, we always need to stand up and do something, right? Yeah. Leave earlier to get parking. That's surely a one solution. Now again, think about several. Do you have several options that you can do? Patience, plan ahead, prioritize. Yep, sure, yeah. We can plan. Really block out how the time is currently being spent. Very good, very good. Oh, My husband. Ah. Okay. Work on my message so I can get them turned in. Do I procrastinate? Okay, do I schedule it? Okay, these are great questions to ask yourself. Really good. Very good. Good. Now it sounds like you are already making brainstorming some ideas. So that's great. That's exactly what I would like you to do for this assignment. And now, so for the class, what I would like you to do, let me talk to you about a little bit more about ADDIE. Now, ADDIE as a model, actually, I'm not the one who will come up with it. It is a generic instructional design model that basically everyone in the instructional psychology and technology department or the instructional design field, they know. It is an instructional design model. But to me, ADDIE is more than instructional design. It is a problem-solving model. In other industries, they also have other instructional models besides the ones that I share with you. Like in computer, this model is called waterfall or agile, and business is called corporate problem solving. And just now, the one we saw in military is called the 7 steps. And in law, is a legal process. And in teacher education, it's called action research. Action research is something that I'm also familiar with. I actually created some instructional DVDs for action research too. And so all these instructional models, they have common elements that are very similar to what we have introduced. What I would like you to do for class is that you go to the class website. Now, by the way, this is the last semester's class website. I just want to point to you that if you forget, what the class URL is, there's a link that will link to this semester's class website. And then if you're here, there's a link to take you back to. And again, there are also some sample assignment the pages that you can use as reference, and you also have various e-portfolio for you to use as a reference. Now, once you come in here, I tell you that the assignments is to identify and describe an example, okay, a situation matter in which the universal model of problem solving was applied and its results. Alternatively, you may also identify and describe a non-example in which the model was not used, and then what's the result, okay? And your example should describe the 5 elements, so the element model have been applied or not applied, and it may come from your personal experience, and you may talk about other people's experience that you know, or from a book, your other classes, news, books, scriptures. It can be a something that you have read in the Book of Mormon, in the Bible. You want to use the ADDIE model to analyze that situation. That would be great too. And some conference talks and other sources. But I want your story to be authentic, meaningful, and thought-provoking. The quality of the story will be graded, and so I want you to just write about it. The example should be at least 3 paragraphs, so it doesn't need to be long. You should not limit it to 3 paragraphs. The reason I say 3 paragraphs is because I don't want you to feel like you have to make it very long just for the sake of making it long. But try to make use of it and write something meaningful that you can use. And so in your e-portfolio, create a new tab under number 8, reflection and continuous growth, and call it problem solving. On top of the new page, give a short description of what the universal model of problem solving is. Again, for the e-portfolio, your audience won't know what the universal model of problem solving is, and so you need to introduce to them what it is. You can use my PowerPoints. You can simply use your own words to describe it. But then after that, then you provide your example. Okay, and I have also uploaded a copy of this PowerPoint right here, and so if you have to use it, you can download it. And so now this is what you need to do, and what I hope you'll be able to do is to learn about this model, and next time when you are facing with a professional or other personal problems, and when you feel like you're stuck, you can think about this model, and maybe at that time it will be something that can be very helpful to you and provide you with a cognitive framework, so you can face and resolve your challenge or problem in a very systematic way. So this is my presentation today. I hope it is useful to you in some ways, and I look forward to your submissions. And if you have any question, send me an email or come over. I'm right here in my office in IPNT, and Murphy is also in the lab. And so if you have any question, he can also help you over there too. So other than that, sayonara. Thank you. It's pretty cool. You guys can draw on my screen. Oh yeah, Nicole. Yeah, you can look up my TED Talk. It's pretty fun. It was a really fun experience. As you watch it, you can see that I was pretty nervous. If I ever do it again, I won't be as nervous.
That's all I can do. Video. There's like.
Okay, I'm signing off now. Let's see.